in Jungian terms. Seeing images in the mirror may be a safer way to consider material from the unconscious, similar to a dream within a dream, an expression of material ready to emerge into conscious awareness. Mirrors symbolize the imagination, another linked door between the unconscious and conscious worlds, as when Alice goes through the looking glass. In fairy tales, mirrors are often magic, connecting us to various aspects of ourselves, as does the mirror in Beauty and the Beast, or relate to issues of truth, self-deception, and vanity, the wicked queen's mirror in Snow White. When they are linked to self-aggrandizement, as in the myth of Narcissus, and to the twin theme. As a reversal, mirror images can be linked to the shadow and to opposites or opposing forces, their battle and their union. And here it says, see face, persona, and reflection. So I thought that was interesting. And there was another, one more thing. Oh, seeing. Eyes are one of the major sense organs with which we incorporate or understand information, so it's not uncommon for seeing or looking to occur in dreams. For it to be significant, it would have to be especially emphasized in some way. If that's so, then consider the symbolism of what you're observing, seeing, and how it relates to insight, your perspective, a rigid, limited viewpoint, another's viewpoint, possibly something you've only glanced at and need to take a closer look. It may relate to voyeuristic needs in terms of sex or with respect to learning, secrets, gossip. Yeah. And then I looked at blindness too. Blindness. Have you lost sight of something important? Have you lost sight of something important or are denying something about which you should see the light? It suggests there is an area, situation in your life in which you have a blind spot and need to shift your focus to gain new perspective or insight. In esoteric Christian symbolism, being blind refers to the time before one became aware of or awakened to the teaching, and in that sense is similar to being asleep, spiritual darkness. Archetypally, blind men, especially old ones, often symbolize inner wisdom, but blindness was also a punishment sacrifice for transgressions. Does this dream refer to a guilt issue or urge you to turn inward? See eyes, light, looking, looked at, and seeing. And so, yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, how all those relate to. Oh, and I do think the neck is interesting because the neck keeps coming up for me too. And I've heard that, that is like the masculine is the head and that the feminine is the neck. And so, without like the movement. Oh, so I looked at movement also, just because I was curious and it just kind of had like an impulse to look at movement. So I'll read that. Movement. Out of 3 dreams, one out of 3 dreams contains some kind of movement, including changing locations within the dream. Movement to the left, turning left, taking the left-hand road can represent concerns with the past, needing to activate feminine aspects of yourself, active unconscious material conflict. Movement toward the right suggests activating masculine aspects of yourself, freeing yourself from past issues that have held you back, moving toward integrating unconscious material into consciousness. Upward movement may reflect a breakthrough, downward movement a need to explore your inner depths. Forward movement indicates orientation toward the future and toward achieving your goals, especially if you know where you are going. It may also reflect attraction-repulsion issues. Standing still, moving in no direction may indicate ambivalence about a waking situation project, lack of confidence, indecision about your next step, waiting for inner-outer guidance or direction. Moving away from something can relate to issues that have been completed, are being ignored, avoided, rejected, or involve feelings about leaving separation. From a Freudian perspective, movement, especially conflicts about movement, can refer to intestinal activity and bowel movements. Therefore, being afraid to move may be related to constipation and to opening up emotionally. C crossroads direction posture for circular movement, C circle. So, all sorts of interesting things that relate and yeah, are pretty fun. Yeah, to contemplate. So, and yeah, I had my bookmark in there, the mother and child in the mirror, and that's funny. It was just in there. It'd been in there since last time I looked at it, a couple months ago maybe. But yeah, that's funny that she pops up again, the mother and child in the mirror, the reflection. Yeah, and yeah, some of those things do relate to yeah, some of the things I've been working with and playing with, and I'll just read one more thing about that. So an acknowledgement, yeah, just looking at acknowledging things where I can have gratitude and thanks and appreciation and value, like my own process and my own triumphs and my own victories and my failures and my follies and all of it, the journey, the whole of the journey. And yeah, just knowing that, yeah, it's a continuous journey too, of awakening and remembering and knowing and discovering. So acknowledgement, praise, gratitude for all the growth and gifts, the triumphs and the victories, small steps bit by bit, in and through a spiral journey, returning home to me, to know myself, to love myself, to remember who I am, to remember who we are, to remember all life is. The cave I fear to enter, it almost looks like the cave I fear to center. The cave I fear to enter holds the greatest treasure that I seek, the labyrinth in the center, the monster in the maze. The journey down and inward, the unconscious world of fullness, the beauty, joy, and pain. Light shadows, whispers, echoes of my heart and soul, traveling the underworld that wants to be reknown through her unknown, forgotten, and veiled ways and mysteries. And yeah, what's been coming up today is the scales, balance, support, equilibrium, reciprocal exchange, and partnership. And the new moon in Libra is coming on the 16th. So we're in that cycle where we can make use of those energies before and after the new moon. And Mercury went into retrograde today, and so communication should be interesting. And looking at those contracts, negotiations, and agreements, and communications, and the words, the Chariot keeps coming up for me. Being aware of our projections, what's being projected and what we may be projecting. And then observation through neutrality, or bringing in the witness to remain neutral or to hold that space for neutrality. Healing relationships between the masculine and feminine, all of these healing opportunities, working through judgment and injustice and responsibility, dependency versus responsibility. So there's grief, loss, and emotion surfacing. There's purging, releasing, and clearing. Gratitude, thanksgiving, appreciating, and valuing, reevaluating. Where does our well-being need genuine support for balance in our lives? So where can we claim our stability or our grounding, our standing? Can we root? Can we honor our roots and do some rooting? Rooting for ourselves too, and each other. So the heart, intuition, relationships, workplace, sacred space, home, service, and creativity are challenges right now. There's energy available right now that we can harvest, that we can work with our challenges that we have on our plates right now. And it is a time for renewal and excitement and joy, inspiration, and slowing down. So turtle can help with the slowing down, turtle medicine. And yeah, that is, yeah, kind of where I'm at right now with like some of this, and just integration and receptivity and differentiation, and yeah, resolving conflicts and feeling that reunion, union of opposites, and um, returning home, homecoming, and yeah, feeling cozy, feeling the fall. Yeah, feeling those sweet feelings of wanting to nest and rest, and that warmth and the feeling those feelings of the hearth, like Vesta, Hestia, goddess of the hearth and the home, and yeah, wanting to like kind of be a home buddy in a certain way, yeah, and get all snug and cozy. But I know there's work to do still while we still have sunlight, and so like it is like kind of a mix of those things right now of wanting, yeah, to make use of the daylight and do my work, and yeah, be committed, be devoted to those labors of love and integration, and preparing for winter and preparing for rest and decay, death, and stagnation, and honoring all those cycles. So yeah, next time I'll come back and I'll talk about some of the patterns that I've been dissolving and or becoming aware of, and like how that's tying up old lessons that were begun or that or initiated a couple years ago. And so that'll be interesting to to share and talk about. So yeah, well, thanks for joining me and thanks for listening. Hope you're well. What's been going on with you and your well-being? How can you be a support, or what can you welcome in to help support your foundation, your stability, your solidity, your needs for your well-being? And what have we been growing and noticing and appreciating and acknowledging this cycle of growth and the cycles within the cycles? There's always cycles within cycles, and so there's always grand cycles and there's smaller scale cycles, and so it's all interesting to see in the spiral of things, like how they all do this in this cyclical nature, connect and relate. And so just bringing those together, to see like what has unfolded in the last couple of years and this year, and it's been a lot. And I feel very abundant and very blessed, and I know that some of those gifts are still yet to be harvested, but in process. And so that's really cool too, because it's always going. It's continuity. Continuity. It's not always a straight line from A to B, but sometimes it is, and sometimes it feels like it. But it is the circle of all things. Continuity. Continuous discovery. So be well, be love for yourself, take good care of yourself. Until next time, bye for now. See ya.